No, I got other things to talk about. Well, hello, everybody. Sorry for that little bit of a delay. And I am live. I can see the mic thing going up, so I am not muted. So there for all you predictors out there. Anyway, it's a little bit of delay. I forgot to turn on the lights. That's always a good thing. Anyway, well, good to see you all. Welcome to Mondays with Max. Appreciate you all being here. Let's see who's here. Second TL Mining was first. Good to see you, sir. 10 minutes to midnight. Son of a Rabbit. Vinny Del Greco. Thank you for being a member. Nick as well. Thank you for being a member. Travelers Travels. Thank you for being a member. So I guess that's what you do. If you can't be the first one in chat, you just claim you were the first like. Got it. And no, not muted. Travelers Travels. So there. Aragorn Strider, Zarkov, NJ Web Solutions. Welcome. I don't know if I've seen you here before, but appreciate you being here. Jean-Francois, Nelson's Crypto. Let's see, going on. Alexander Fleener. I don't think I said him earlier. Steven Cicero, Lestadog C57, Deep Parsh, Joker Miner, Hawk Crypto Mining. Let's see who else. Burn, the Toxic Miner, City, Batter Ace. Yep, Flux Edge is almost here. Pretty exciting. All of the AI platforms that are out there. It's gonna be interesting to see. I mean, honestly, rising tides raises all boats. I mean, I think they're all going to be successful. It's just a matter of who's going to be the most successful. I did check Discord. Hawk. All for you miners. Goat. It's a fucking goat. Canadian miner. Sunflower Mama, of course, is here. Well, she was here. Now she just walked out of the room. Radikai Railroad. Good to see you, sir. Thank you for being here. I haven't seen you here before. Okay, I don't think I've definitely seen this person here before. Shades Layer Masta? I think. Anyway, I don't think I've seen you before, so appreciate you being here. And Katana. Hey, been a while. Hope you are enjoying that Caspa miner. Endless Mining, good to see you. I appreciate it, Endless. Jeremy Vaughn, Galaxy 9 Synthesis, and Black Hat Team making it just under the wire. Good to see you. Yes, SAB 121, as I predicted, because that's when vetoes happen. Friday afternoon, because that's out of the news cycle. SAB 121 did get vetoed in that time period. So, and they always do it at the very end, because they have 10 days. So they'll do the Friday before the expiration. They try to, because obviously there's a whole bunch of brouhaha at the beginning with the news, especially since they did announce that they were going to be vetoing it. And so they wait for that to die down, and then they do it the Friday. So like I said, so it's out of the news cycle, because anytime you get a veto, that's pretty controversial. I mean, your Congress both voted to put it through, and now the president's saying, nope, not going to do it. Not going to do it. Pattywick Miner stood up my Neoxa node. Really straightforward. Yeah. Yes, and I actually did mine last night as well. But we'll talk about that in a little bit. Brouhaha, yes. Brouhaha, yes, that is a thing. It is definitely a thing. Oh, there's so many other things I could say that would show where what generation I'm from. Bunch of malarkey. Yeah, that'd be another one. This one won't cost him the election. This one was actually not as important as the FIT 21 bill. The SAB 121, anytime you do a congressional review where you say, nope, Congress is saying you can't do that in your commission, you know, whether it be CFTC, SEC, or any other division of the government, when Congress comes through and says, yeah, you made this guideline, but you can't ever do it again. That has, I don't want to say severe consequences, but I guess kind of, because what that means is that they can never make any rules that even remotely look like that ever again. And that gives a tremendous amount of power to Congress to be able to do that. So there are a lot of people that are reluctant to do it. They basically said it's like taking a hammer when basically a chisel would have done the job, crafting something. The problem was that Congress didn't do their job in the first place when a bill was presented last year and it died in the Finance Committee at the House. And that's what got me, was that, again, not getting political, I'm just saying there's irony on both sides, is that this was a bipartisan group of House members that put this together within the Finance Committee. And then the Finance Committee said no. And then when they brought up this congressional review, and it doesn't go through committee, that can be brought to the House floor. And then those people that voted it down in the Finance Committee were like, well, they should have just done a bill. And they were like, we did, and you voted it down. Maxine Waters was the one that said that. And they're like, we did. And suddenly Fit 21 came to the forefront at that point. So things have to kind of take weird steps in Congress to make progress. And we're making progress, and we're going to get there. It won't be this year. I'd be absolutely shocked if it happens. Congress moves extremely slow. Everybody has a non-invented here problem. So just because the House says this was going to work doesn't mean the Senate in fact, the Senate never just votes on it. They take it to committee, they make changes, and it's a whole thing. So, again, think of it this way. When you have a bunch of old people that are doing this, generally it's going to move slower. So, not always, but yeah, unfortunately that is the way it is. So we won't get progress on this probably until maybe the very end of the year, but probably the beginning of next year would be my guess. But we'll see. The good thing is that the vote, by my math, it was veto proof in the House. So I don't know if they'll make it the same in the Senate. They have to vote 67%. So you need votes of 67 senators, or depending on the percentage of people that actually vote, you might need one less or so in order to make it work. But yeah. So, well, anyway, I didn't actually intend on talking about that, but it got brought up. So I appreciate you guys asking the questions. If you have questions, please tag me in the chat. Let's see. I'm going back up. Make sure there wasn't anything that tagged me with questions, and I don't see any. Alrighty. So yeah, I got tagged a lot today. What was that? Yeah, I see somebody's giving me lots of hearts. I love you too. It's probably Chump. Anyway, I don't think he's here, but so yeah, I got a lot of people tagged me today about this thing called Caspa. I don't even know what it is. I'm done. I don't even want to know what it's about. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, it went up to what's it at now? I saw that it hit 17 cents at one point. Let's see what it jumped up to 26. Yeah, 17.29 cents. Is that an all-time high? If it isn't, it's darn close. Well, I mean, let's see. It hit 17.62 was the high. Let me check 1 year. Let's see. Nope, it hit 18.37 cents was its all-time high. So it hasn't hit it yet. But I would say it's looking like it could. Definitely could, but that is quite the jump. You want to see who's winning, Chump? You know who's winning. He is right now. but it's not the end of the year. It's not the end of the game. We're not even in the third quarter. We're at the end of the first half. That's it. We got a long way to go. Long way to go. So I still like my chances. That doesn't mean it's going to stay here. Remember, it was at this before and it came back down. Now, the one thing that I do have working against me is the fact that you have ASIC companies that are going to manipulate the hell out of this thing because they want to sell hardware. And when here's the thing, I credit this increase, I credit completely to Panda. It was 200 IQ. I'm going to tell everybody that they shouldn't buy a Caspa miner because of where the price of Caspa is. 200 IQ. He made it go up. Now, all of a sudden, these don't look like such bad deals at the prices they're at. Curious to see if the prices go up or if they stay, at least for a few days. Because, yeah, the math just completely changed. Now, if you had taken Panda's advice and taken the money you were going to put into a Caspa miner and bought the coin, you'd be sitting really pretty right about now. You'd be sitting really pretty. So like I said, the math changes now, but when he presented that on Sunday, the math had not changed. You would have been much better off buying Caspa on that day. But now you don't have the opportunity because it's gone up. Well, and it could come back down. Definitely a possibility. Ted says, what? You don't think Bitmain is not going to pump LTC and Doge to drive sales of the L9? Unless they renamed it to the D9. That would actually make sense as it puts out more Doge than Litecoin. But anyway, I'm not saying that they won't. That's why I'm saying that it's not the end of the year yet. Not the end of the year yet. So yeah, it's gonna be very interesting. Gonna be very interesting. I think we're gonna see a few more lead changes along the way. It's gonna be a dogfight until the end, I think. Could Caspa pull away? Yeah, I mean, I look at it kind of like a football game. LTC is going to win the game in the trenches. They're going to just claw their way to the finish line and ahead of Caspa. Caspa could suddenly have the game of its life and just like completely slaughter LTC. It's possible. Definitely possible. But we'll have to see. So far, LTC has been in the game. Still is. So... all right, where is DJ? Well, DJ, I don't know when he's leaving, but he's going on a jet plane. Don't know when he's going to be back again. Going to be a little while. Anyway, if anybody caught that reference. Let's see. I'm sure DJ still is checking in. I know that he actually posted like Caspa on Twitter, so... he's still around. He's still around. Let's see. Yep. Alpminer resurfaced. I think eventually, Alpminer rumors resurfaced. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see if and when that comes out. I'm sure it will eventually, come out. All right. So enough about Caspa. I've had it up to here with Caspa today. Especially with Chump first thing in the morning trolling me with the damn thing. Thanks, man. He's not even here for me to bug him. Yeah. Yes, thank you, Bern. Oh, he is there? Oh, there he is. Glad you're enjoying it. I actually have got back in the swing. Last week, I was completely out of the swing of watching Daily Grind. It was just like super busy at work, crazy busy. And every day I'd be like, 15 minutes to my 8:15 conference call. I'm like, damn it, I forgot to put on Daily Grind today. So if you guys don't watch it, you don't know what you're missing. Always enjoyable, nice, relaxing review of the news. I always pick up something new from it. So definitely, if you are up at that time of day and you have the opportunity to just put it on your phone and listen, it's definitely worth it. Definitely worth it. It's a quick way to get in some news for the day. No question. And then of course the chat's really enjoyable. Like, because it was a Monday, there was multiple days of news. So the woman who, I don't know if I think she's from CNBC, she kept changing outfits because of, they weren't always obviously in chronological order. So that was kind of funny today. Goat, a member for 23 months, almost 2 years. Gosh, I cannot believe that I have had memberships open for almost 2 years. We want to hear much more about your love for Caspa. I don't hate Caspa. I have Caspa. I try to get a little bit of everything that I think could pump. And I definitely think Caspa has a very good chance. Got some work to do, as a lot of projects do, but yeah, we'll have to kind of wait and see. I know all you guys are like Caspa. I'm trying to think of, what do you call Bitcoin that only believe in Bitcoin? I mean, you guys are like that, but for Caspa, man. What? I'm going to get to those. I know, I'm getting there. Caspa to the moon, member for 17 months. So thank you, Steven Sister, for being a member for 17 months. Integra Guy 04. I don't know. I feel like I'm missing something there. Member for 26 months. So it has been over 2 years. Wow. Yeah, 23 months. I think actually, I'm pretty sure Integra Guy was my first member. Travelers Travels has been a member for 15 months. Caspa Yachts for everyone. Yes. Unless you don't like yachts, and then you'll just spend your money on something else instead. All right. Second topic for tonight is nodes. So one of the things I have been doing in the bear market is, how do I make passive income? So obviously you guys already know that I have a Flux node. I have a Flux Nimbus node, which requires 12,500 Flux in order to do it. But and I happen to do it from home. It works really well. But if you don't have the hardware, there are lots of providers out there. Obviously, we all know of Terra, but maybe some people don't know that they also offer Flux nodes, all three of them, Cumulus, Nimbus, and Stratus. So, and they actually do host some of the Titan nodes as well. So Flux puts their faith in them. So definitely, if you do have Flux sitting on the sidelines, you have 1,000 Flux just sitting there not doing anything, check out running your own node. Do the math. I'm pretty sure that you actually come out ahead. And I know it really kind of depends on the price of Flux, but you do definitely generate considerably more Flux running your own node than getting on a Titan node. So check it out. Plus, I think it's interesting to try out all these different things. Like I said, I like to run them myself just because I like to learn from it, which is why I decided, instead of doing Node Orbit, I decided to run my Neoxa node from my house. I learned how to launch it versus Node Orbit. Node Orbit does make it very, very easy. So if you are thinking of running a Neoxa node, is not sponsored. Neither one is sponsored. If you are thinking about running a Neoxa node, check out Node Orbit. I have compared, like right now, I have a node running with Pecunia, not Neoxa, but a Presearch node. And let's just say that the reliability factor that they have in there, that Presearch has, not very good with Pecunia. But I'm going to last it out. I'm going to do it the 6 months. It was only $2 a month, so it was super cheap. But I know I cannot possibly be earning as much as I would be if I was on a different platform. So Pecunia is not my favorite Other people have had good luck with them. I just haven't. Again, maybe it's just their pre-search node. Maybe their Neoxa nodes are fine. I don't know. But I do know that there are some things with Neoxa nodes that can get you like taken off of the network, and you need to do things to get yourself back on. And when you do that, you are losing earnings. You're losing rewards, which is the whole point of running a node. So Todd Tebow says, how much latency do I need for a Flux node? I don't believe that. Well, first of all, latency is a bad thing. So how much latency do you need to make it sound like you want more latency? No. But I don't think that that is really an issue too much, but I don't know. I have low latency. I think, when I do like a speed test, I'm usually sub 10 milliseconds. So I honestly don't know. It all is with experience. But again, if you have higher latency, it's worth trying to run something. And if it doesn't work, you're not out that much money if you already have the hardware. Let me see what else. I mean, upload speed. So upload speed, you need to run a Cumulus node, you need 25 megabits per second upload. So one of the things that was great was when they finally upgraded the Comcast technology to mid-split. And mid-split is what enables 200 megabits per second upload, and as well as 2 gig down. So I've got, my bill's like $60 a month for internet, and I have 2 gig down and 200 up. So I'm pretty happy with that. It does what I need it to do. Would I be much happier with 1 gig up, 1 gig down? Oh, hell yeah. I'd be even happier with 2 gig up and 2 gig down. But honestly, that's overkill. Like, I look at my Ubiquiti and I don't think I've ever seen it go above 1 gig. Because most of the servers on the internet will not allow you to download faster than that. So unless you have, 5 people at home all like gaming and doing things that are gaining bandwidth on different servers, that's a totally different story. But for me, my AI doesn't pull that much in the way of data. My nodes don't pull that much in the way of data, certainly higher than average. So no swearing. Did I swear? I did not remember swearing. Well, sorry, man. Sorry if I offended you with swearing. Damn it. All right, let's see what else I missed. So hopefully that answered your question, Todd. Oh, that sucks. So that's one of the things that's kind of interesting about Xfinity, because if you are in an older network, that generally means your equipment is going to be more subject to the elements. So wind, rain, snow, ice, all that stuff is going to be more likely to get into cables and equipment and degrade it faster. I live in a newer neighborhood, and when I say newer, it was built in the 90s, but everything was underground. Power was underground, cables underground, all the way out to the box, and then out to the node, it's also underground. So it's much more resilient. We have had very good luck with Comcast. You go back, I know I just said that out loud. If you go back like 15 years, not so much. But there's just certain things that you can't control. Comcast cannot control. They can't go out and rebury all the lines. They just can't. That'd be a logistical nightmare, as well as not cost effective. So just something to keep in mind. But I'm sorry to hear that, Goat. That's really sucks. I mean, I know for me that would hit the pocketbook hard. Joker Meyer says, my kid is watching. She watches all of you. All of me? All of me? Or all the YouTubers? I see what you're saying. Got it. Alrighty. Oh, okay. So Todd says, no, I did not swear. Panda. Who, don't let anybody kid you when he's not making videos and doing live streams. He swears like a sailor. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I can just guess what's going to happen in my chat after I said that. Alrighty. So sorry, going back to the nodes. So as I mentioned, I went through all the nodes. Oh, the other thing, I'm even running an ETC-MC node. I'm running 3 of them for now. I'm running them because I don't have anything else to run on them for now. They were Flux nodes before. They were Cumulus nodes, but when I basically consolidated all into one Nimbus node, I had all this hardware available. The ETC-MC project was out there, and I decided to give it a shot, and I did that. So if you are still running an ETC-MC node, make sure you upgrade your nodes as quickly as possible. The last day to upgrade is today. After today, you will stop earning. I know, earning maybe 3 cents a day, if that. It is really low. So it's just over 4 cents a day you would earn. So ETC-MC went from $2.50 down to 2 cents. It's basically at about 2 cents right now. So you're not making a lot. You're making basically breaking even with power. But let's be realistic. My 3 ETC-MC nodes is 12.5 cents a day. I'm making a little over 4 cents a day per nodes. I'm basically breaking even. Not too worried about it. But like I said, I enjoy running things on my hardware, and I don't have anything better to put on it right now. And certainly trying to sell the hardware that I have isn't going to do any good. I'm not going to get much for it, so I didn't pay much for it. So anyway, so that I am still running that. So that you need to upgrade to I'll say 2.x, because they've been upgrading it. Like when I first started last night, they were on 2.4. By the time I went to go to the second node, they'd already gone to 2.5. So excuse me 1 second. My nose is. All right. Sorry about that. What was that? No, I don't. So anyway, so yes, I am still running that. My Nioxa node has been, not my Nioxa node, my Flux node has been doing wonderfully. I barely ever check it, and it always runs. Knock on wood, since I just said that out loud. But yeah, it's running really, really well. Only issue is if the power goes out, I have to go check to make sure it restarts. For some reason, I think the problem was that I didn't have that VM restarting itself when the server rebooted, and I have since fixed that. So I think that problem will be solved. But otherwise, it's been doing great. And the Nioxa node, it is pretty straightforward. I basically was like, there weren't any guidelines of how to create a VM, like exactly what you needed, other than it needed 2 cores, 60 gig of memory, and 4 gig of RAM. So I provisioned it that way, and now I have my VM. Then I loaded Ubuntu 20.04. Yes, I could have gone to a higher version, but I already had that downloaded on the server. So I just loaded that, and I know how to load that, and then started going ahead with it. Now I did run into a few hiccups. I've realized after I was so there aren't very many videos on how to do this. There was one of a guy that did it, on his own hardware. And once I viewed his video where I thought, DJ's here. Well, you missed the Caspa segment. So rewind. Go back. We'll wait. No, I'm just kidding. We're not going to wait. But anyway, so I realized that where I thought I was getting an error, I wasn't actually getting an error that was normal. So I went through a couple different steps I didn't need to go through. Then when I thought, okay, what's going on here? Nothing seems to be changing. I went and checked and saw that I may need to do a few more steps. I did those additional steps, then found out I may not have needed to do those additional steps. but they didn't harm anything. So I just left them. I realized after the fact, you have to wait for the node to sync, and it takes a long time. Anybody who has launched a Noctua QT wallet and has to wait for that to sync, it takes hours. So it was already really late last night. So I'm like, all right, well, at least now I know. And I woke up this morning and it still wasn't quite done. It was almost done at that point. And then when I got to work, I remoted in and saw that it was done and it said ready. Cool. Then I'm like, wait a minute. How long until I get my first payout? Because I'm not seeing any money go through. And I'm thinking like iNodes, like you constantly see, increase every single day. No, that is not the way it is. It's more like Flux, where every so often you're in line. And then when your time in line comes around, then you get paid out about 1,000 Noctua each time. So I believe if I remember correctly, it was 54 hours between rewards. So every 54 hours you get about 1,000, which comes out to around a 36% APR. So I was like, cool, that's a pretty good return, assuming Flux doesn't go any lower, which it had been doing quite a bit. So we'll see kind of where it goes. It's like you said, anytime you invest money in crypto, you have to expect, or at least be ready for it to go to zero. So this whole thing with Noctua, it could go to zero. That's all right. I can live with that. But I definitely enjoyed getting that thing up and running. Probably will do a video on it. I didn't tape the whole process or anything. I was trying to get a bunch of things done because it's running behind. The ETCMC node, I didn't do a video on that either. But there is an extremely good video by the ETCMC team that basically, as long as you follow it perfectly, you got to make sure you do every single step of their process, which is in their Discord. As long as you do that, mine all worked, but I can see it's very easy to skip a step. There's so many steps. I mean, I'm talking like 40 steps. I did not tape it on Betamax, but I should, considering my name. But yeah, no, I did not. Okay, fine. Recorded it. Are you happy? Are you happy? King of Andre's video or it didn't happen. He didn't say tape, but video. Anyway, I can still prove that I have a Noctua node. I can still go through the steps. But anyway, we'll see. Right now, I'm just trying to get things done. I also realized that I really don't have a good setup in order to tape the putting together the NAS. So what I'm probably going to do is just like do like stills, like different steps of the stills of where I'm at with the NAS build. And I'll talk through those pictures. Anyway, so we'll see. We'll see on that one. But I know after the stream tonight, I am going to start putting it together. I don't think I'm going to finish it tonight, but who knows? I might. Golden Wolf says, Noctua is dead to gamers. Joker Miner says, my work won't allow remoting into home machines. Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised that they do, but they do allow it. But I just think they don't know any better. They're not. My IT department is not very savvy. Yeah, not very savvy at all. I find it. I won't go into it, but there were a number of things that frustrated me with flash drives. I was trying to do something. They were asking me to do something. I said, well, you're not allowing me to do it. They're like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So, I mean, bottom line with nodes and staking, I also have my Jupiter staked as well. Why not take the crypto you have and stake it? Make some extra out of it. You'll be surprised at how much it adds up. It really does. All the little things. You got a demo, you've got a Hive mapper, you got a GeoNet, and you're staking, you're doing nodes. all that stuff adds up, and it really, really matters. Don't necessarily have to keep it in those things. Just earn it, sell out of it, and buy what you want. Wait. Wait a minute. Because the time zone's different? Oh, I see. So you didn't get the notification, or you weren't looking for the notification. So you were, I got it. That's okay. I'll forgive you, Mining King. Vinny Dog Krakow says staking salad. That's not how salad works. But we'll talk about that a little bit later as well. Well, we can talk about it now just for a few minutes. So, right now I'm pretty excited about my Vast, because right now everything, and I'm going to make sure that I refresh it before I say it. Yeah. Everything is rented except for two 4090 rigs. So one 4090 and another one 4090. I have no idea why these things won't rent. I have no idea. Makes 0 sense. So what I'm probably going to do with those two is I'm going to take them off of Vast and I'm going to put them onto Salad. So that's what I'm going to do after I build my NAS. That is the plan. I think we will possibly do better. Well, we can't do better than 0 because right now all they're doing is mining. So that's one nice thing about Vast, is the fact that you can do background mining. With Salad, you can't, but it seems like you're rented more of the time. And it seems like they're really, really needing more and more GPUs. Like they have more work than they have GPUs at this point. So that's a great problem to have. It hasn't been built yet, Second TL. It is sitting like in pieces still. Okay. So there's the motherboard with the 5700 in it. 5700G, I should say. Yep, there you can see it, 5700G. So I still have to take 2 sticks of memory out of this computer because I don't need 80 gig. I don't need 80 gig. So I'm going to put 16 gig in here. And then this is the cooler I have for it. I have one of these on one of my other computers. Works great. I love thermal right. I know this is King's favorite. I have a Team Group MP44 NVMe. The reason why I got this one was, according to the specs, its maximum number of writes was higher, much higher, almost 3 times higher than the standard of 600 terabytes. This was like 1.4 terabytes. So that I have, and then I have 4 of these. These are white label Seagate Barracuda Pros, I believe is what they are. So they originally were used for Chia, but they have about 75% of their life left on them. And I have a Meshify 2, which I talked about this in a short, but basically changing it over to the storage layout right there. So that's going to take, hell, that'll take time there, because you got to remove all this other stuff in order to actually get it into storage mode. And I guess that's pretty much everything. But yeah, I'm gonna start building that tonight. Like I said, that's going to be a lot of it is going to be just changing the format of the, oh, and speaking of that, let me put it in the chat in case anybody's interested. This is $199. and this is not an affiliate link or anything. But this is only good for another little over 2 hours. So I have never seen it this low. So I know that Micro Center was matching this, so they might have it available for a bit after B&H expires. So if you are interested in something like this, it's a good one. So this one can hold 17 drives. 17 drives. Now it's only 13 3.5-inch drives and 4 2.5-inch drives. And of course, the 3.5 could be 3.5 or 2.5. So you could have 17 2.5-inch drives if you wanted. But anyway, but yeah, it can hold a crap ton of drives. I will never use that many. Probably won't ever use more than 8. I'm starting with 4. And I'm going to be using Unraid. And one of the things why some of this was delayed is I was doing some research yesterday. I originally had thought, originally I was going to go True NAS. And I found somebody that had done a recent comparison between the two. And they basically said for a home, really Unraid is the best way to go. So that's the reason why I went that direction. Now they were comparing ZFS performance, and they were doing a couple of tweaks to Unraid to make it pretty much match the performance of True NAS. But ZFS is very constraining when it comes to how you have to expand. You can't just expand one disk at a time. You can't add just, like if you have a 4-disk pool that you start with, you need to add another 4 disks in order to expand it of the same size. I was like, so for me, with what I'm doing with it, I'm not going to be editing from it or anything like that. So really came to the conclusion that it's more of a backup server for me, as well as maybe running some containers on it. But we'll see. I'm going to grow with it, but I'm going to start out with XFS format on the drives, which is the standard Unraid format. And that allows you to add 1 drive at a time. And you can run 2 parity disks, which I will do. I'll run 2 parity disks on a 4 disk, so that when I do expand, I don't need to worry about it. Those same 2 parity disks are going to be there. So I just figured that'll work out better and just make it easier to expand instead of trying to change to a 2 parity disk system when I say I got to like 6 drives or something like that. Plus the other issue was, again, because these were used for Chia and they do have some life on them. It's only 75% life. I thought, probably better to be safe than sorry. So I'll do that. But anyway, the issue though with going with XFS is the fact that each individual disk is its own individual disk. It's not really pooled together like you would think. They're not striped or anything like that, where it takes, a piece of the file on this drive and then a piece of the file on the other drive and so on and so forth, so that it can access multiple drives to get the data. Meaning if you're accessing multiple drives to get the same data, you're going to be pulling it theoretically twice as fast, as long as you have the bandwidth to support it. So when you're talking about pulling it off of SATA drives, and thinking, oh, well, I'll get a 2.5 gig link, which is what I was thinking. But you would need that type of system, RAID, ZFS, ButterFS, one of those, in order to take advantage of that feature where you're pulling the data from multiple drives at the same time, so that it speeds things up. In this case, every drive, you could take it out and put it in another system, and you're going to see what files are in there. It's because every drive is separate. So like I said, good with the bad. I want the flexibility of it more than the speed, especially considering I can just set it to sync up in off hours, and I'm not going to be as concerned about the speed because of that. That's my use case. All right, let's see. Oh, Urted says it's like 5 minutes tops to change the case to storage mode. Oh, okay, cool. It just looked like it was like you got to take the fans off, you got to take the top off. It looked like you had to do a bunch of things. So you got to remember, I'm not as mechanically inclined. Maybe I should just give it to, yeah, as Sunflower Mama. Maybe I should just give it to her to do. She'd probably be done with it by the end of the stream. Anyway, Geek of All Trades says this is the SATA controller I used in my Chia server. If it's what I'm thinking. Oh. Interesting. That's a way to get a lot of SATA. Yeah, I was really debating because I do have two M.2 slots on this board. So that's a good thing. But I was kind of thinking, oh, well, I'll put in like a 10 gig card into the main PCIe slot. Or what I was originally thinking about was putting in a what do you call it? An M.2 adapter where you could get like 4 M.2 on one PCIe 16 slot. The problem is that the motherboard has to support bifurcation on the slot, not on the motherboard, which a lot of them have, where you can be like, okay, you put one card in the first slot, and then if you put another card in the second slot, then it's 8x8, across those slots. That's also a type of bifurcation. But no, this is bifurcation in the slot. A lot of the Asus boards do have it, but most of the other brands don't seem to have it, especially on B550. So I just decided, you know what? It's not really my use case. Caching is probably going to have minimal help. And I would probably, for caching, given the speed of what I'm working on, I'd probably just put in 2 regular SATA SSDs for cache, as that would speed things up enough where I would see a difference. So I might end up doing that, but I appreciate you sending that. If you could DM that to me, Goat, I would appreciate it. And let me actually hold on. Where'd it go? Okay, here we go. Let me bring that up on screen so people can see it. And buy some what? You didn't ask the right question then. It all depends on what question you ask. If you ask it the right way, it will not tell you to go Synology. It won't. It absolutely will not. Because I did it. It didn't tell me Synology. Just saying. I like headaches. You know that. I like to learn. I like to learn by doing. I'm sure I'll probably have a few headaches along the way. My key is I just don't want to lose any data. So I'm going to be working hard to make sure I don't lose any data. We'll also keep things on multiple drives anyway. But what I really want is a central point of putting all the family pictures, all the family videos, as well as just larger files that I want to save. Whether it's, I have some workout videos that were from a really long time ago that I want to save. I don't know. There's just a lot of things that I want to save, and I want them in a central repository where everybody can get them. So that's the plan. What was that?
It remembered you asking the question.
Oh.
And you asked the question wrong, and so that you should get a Synology instead.
It said it remember. Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure you asked the question, should max voltage? No, Retro Mike said, +1 Synology. I started building my own NASs, and then a few years later went with an Acer store, and then a few years later went Synology. Will never not own Synology again. I know, but I wanted to try something. Can always change to a Synology in the future. When you guys are buying Lambos, I'll buy like a 10 base Synology. So I'll get there eventually, guys. But this one was relatively cheap. So the motherboard and CPU were $150. The drives were $200, so we're at $350. The case was about another $100, so that's $450. And everything else, because it was the drive was the drive and the cooler were another $150. So that's like $550 for the equivalent of what could be as many drives as you want. That's what it really comes down to. So I'm not limited to the number of bays. The only thing I'm limited to is the 17, and I'm never going to get to 17. So I like it. It'll be fun. It'll be fun, they said. We'll see. And again, you guys, you're talking about a while ago. Things have come a long way. Unraid has really come a long way in getting much closer to the performance of TrueNAS, and TrueNAS has come a long way as well. So, yeah. Am I sweating to the oldies? No, I am not sweating to the oldies. It was an old, it was called Cyclocore. Was the series. But anyway. Yeah, second TL. So I call Synology like the Apple of NAS. It just works. It's just easy. It has all the features you need. They're all right in front of you. They're all intuitive. It's just easy. But the hardware kind of sucks. The hardware is weak. Do you need anything more than the hardware that they give? Probably not. But yeah, I don't know. I'm a hardware guy. So yeah, I was thinking about going Ace's store as well. Because their hardware is better. They have a better path to 10 gig. They comes with 2.5 gig Ethernet. So yeah, I thought about doing that as well. Let's see. I miss anybody that tagged me. Vinny Darker says you would have to get Sunflower Mama out of the pool first before she can build all your machines. Out of the pool? Oh, yes, right, exactly. Yeah, we would definitely buy a pool before we bought a boat. No question. And then probably have a pool boy or a pool girl to... What? Oh, Geek. Oh, no, I don't think so. All right, well, I actually started to do this a little bit ago. There we go. That's the SATA controller. So how many does it have on this thing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's got 16. No, wait a minute. 20. I missed the ones on the end. 20. Holy cow. That's a lot of SATA connectors. More than I could ever want or need. That is pretty cool, though. The question is, and it comes with the 20-inch SATA bundle cables. Very cool. I will definitely add that to... Hey, I believe, didn't Linus try something similar to that? He's trying to heat it with his data center in his house. And then I think the contractor ran off with his money or something like that. All right, add to list. I need to add... wish list. There we go. All right. Enough of that. All right. Let's see. Anybody else tag? Have lots of those controllers. Keep getting CRC error logged in Smart. Really? Well, I guess I'll have to ask Goat for his help on that then. Better with SAS HBA card. Yeah, but don't you need a special connector on the motherboard to use that? Or you're using the M.2 slot for that? I'll have to look at that. But I do know I had seen somebody say something about an HBA card as well. They will have smaller ones too, like 2 port all the way up to 20 port. The one I got was 16 port. Got it. Cool color. I mean the background? The CRC errors log permanently on the HDD, even though it's a controller problem. Oh, yeah, I don't need that. I definitely don't need that. All right, well, I'm just looking at how many connectors it has. It looks really cool, but I will check it out. My initial thought was they have M.2 to SATA adapters, and you can get 6 more SATA, and that's what I was planning on using. I've seen a lot of people use those, especially if you are running a hypervisor and then running your NAS through a VM, which I was highly encouraged not to do that, and I heeded that advice. It's fun to play with, but not great for hardening of data, shall we say. Beginner's block, you're welcome. Appreciate you being here. Try 9201-16i. We're not getting Caspa Lamborghinis. 16i. Made by LSI, I guess. Ah, I see. That's an HBA. Got it. Oh, they're a lot more expensive. I'll get that. But hey, if it works better. There's the LSI 9201-8i. Yeah, and then they have 2 SAS connectors on the back, and then it breaks it out to 4 SATA connectors. So that's probably, I mean, that'd probably be enough, because 8 plus 4, 12, that'll be more than enough. Even if I do a cache, I can't see myself going over, like, I mean, I guess I could do 4 cache drives and 8 hard drives. I don't know. This is a long way away. As there was one guy that was building an 8, it was Hardware Haven. He was building an 8-bay NAS. I believe he was doing it via True NAS. And he was like, everybody's like, well, hey, in the comments, like, why did you go with eight hard drives? Why didn't you just go with 16? You got the room. And he's like, did you not hear that it was $1,800 for the drives? So when I get another $1,800, I'll maybe think about expanding. You know, everybody thinks that, you know, even very, very successful. I mean, you have successful YouTubers out there with hundreds of thousands of followers and views and all that. And yes, they make good money, but they're making it at a full-time basis. So they don't just have, like, money doesn't grow on trees. And especially like hardware manufacturers, when you have such a broad channel, they're not going to sponsor you. So anyway, I just thought it was pretty funny. He's like, did you not hear me? $1,800 for the drives. Anyway, thought it was funny. Alrighty. Yes, I don't want to imagine. I want to see it. I want to see it. When it does, then yes, we'll see what happens. But I'll bring back, as I've said this before, Flux had everything going perfectly, which doesn't happen in software development, but it was for them. And I said way back when, this is probably almost 2 years ago now, I said, but wait, what will happen when they run into a few hiccups here and there? Nothing earth-shattering, just that it's going to slow them down. What's going to be the reaction? We all know what the reaction was. People were like, why isn't it here already? Because this stuff's hard. That's why. What Caspa's doing is hard. So we'll see if they deliver on time. I suspect they might not. Doesn't mean they're not going to deliver. Just means it might take some more time. And we'll see what the reaction of the market is when that happens. So, Argon Starter says, use refurb white label Seagate My chia farm is packed full of them. Yes, in fact, that's kind of what I have. But yeah, definitely white label. So Vinny, you talked about MEV for Caspa. So I didn't see Soat's video where he talked about MEV, but you got to remember, MEV is not a good thing when it comes to Ethereum. It's a bad thing. It's a very bad thing. I was talking to Hawk last night about this, and I don't remember the exact analogy I used, but what MEV is somebody comes in with an idea and says, I want to make this trade because it's going to make me X dollars. And then somebody looks at the pool and says, that's a great idea. I'm going to steal that idea and I'm going to pay this other guy a fee in order to get ahead of him in the pool so that I can make a lot of money on what this other guy created. It's like stealing somebody's, copyright or, basically just stealing an idea. And so inherently, I think that's bad. That should not be able to be a thing. So when I hear MEV, that's what I hear because I relate it to what Caspa is. Now, if Caspa gets the adoption, everybody's nervous, like, well, where are we going to get this money from? And, Caspa is so cheap. How are we going to get anything from the fees? Remember, if they have full blocks, there's going to be a lot of transactions because they're going to fit a lot of transactions into those blocks. And they're going to have more transactions per second, which is the reason why, yes, you'll have higher fees. And so if that's the case, then it'll be fine. But we don't know what we don't know. And we'll have to wait to see what the adoption is as time goes on, and we'll go from there. And I still think if things got bad, while they'd probably take some heat over it, nothing stops them from slowing down the actual amount of reward that it goes down every month. They could just reduce it. They can. I don't even think they need to take a vote. I don't think it's that type of project. Making eggs and hash. It's not stealing. It's leveraging. You're stealing the idea. It was somebody else's idea that you saw because it's a public mempool. And yeah. That's my it for that. Yeah, Red Panda, exactly. MEV for Caspa is a bad idea. Red Panda, were you here when I was giving you all the credit for the Caspa pump? I think DJ got to you and said, I've got an idea. I need to beat Max. So if you do this video saying that nobody should buy a Caspa ASIC because of XYZ and do the math, and everybody's going to see that going, oh man, we got to pump this thing. We got to pump this project. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to sell our ASICs because of Red Panda. So, did anybody know him? We need to get after him. Anyway. Alrighty. Yeah, pump your bag. Yeah, well, hey, it did. It definitely did. Yes, absolutely 200 IQ play. Absolutely. All right, let's see. I still got more stuff to talk about tonight, and I've already been talking for an hour. Sunflower Mama said, yeah, hurry up. My headphones are about to die. All right, let's see. We talked about the NAS. I guess the only thing I didn't talk about. Oh, okay. What I will say is look away. It's going to be disturbing, but no, it will not be a white screen. But this could be disturbing to some. I did trying to figure out if I can get an AI portrait, and I was going to show you what it came up with. And it's pretty funny. You can kind of see a little bit of the evolution of it. Because here, I'll just bring it up. Those are the pictures. So this one was the first one. So it basically goes from the lower right and then goes left and then goes back up to the, and so that's basically your chronological. The one on the upper left is the newest and then goes down from there. So anyway, the first one, I didn't say anything about age. And so it came up with this. So this actually is pretty accurate of what I think I would look like if I was the same weight I am now when I was younger. But I wasn't. I was about 80 pounds lighter. So yeah, my face is a lot thinner. But I thought, yeah, that's pretty darn good, actually. The next one I said 55-year-old man, but didn't say anything about gray hair. And a lot of 55-year-old men have a lot of gray hair. So that's what it did to my hair. And I was like, what the heck? So, and then I said no gray. And it came up with that, which I don't think that one's horrible, but it makes me look like I got hair plugs. This one has this like little doohickey coming down, but I think that one's actually pretty good. I just don't like the hair. And again, the next one over, this one makes me look like I have hair plugs, but I do like that one. The next one actually is probably the best for the hair. My chin's too big, but other than that, anyway. And then the last one, I like that one. But I'm not sure how much it looks like me. Anyway, what is your vote? I'm going to make it one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I am going to put a vote out there. Although, you know what? I am going to eliminate 6 because that is horrible. Let's see how many options it gives. Let me see here. And poll. Which picture is best? You know what? I'm going to take 7 out of there too. So this would just be 1 through 5. Because, yeah. Let's see. Oh, because it doesn't let me add another option until. It won't let me go more than 4. Well. We'll do the first 4. Or you know what? I'll do 1, 2, and 3. And then I'll put other. Or 4 or 5. And then if 4 or 5 wins, then we'll do a vote. And then put in the chat if you just think they're all horrible. All right, poll is up. Toss up between, oh, I hate this damn heart. I can see bacon, eggs, and hash. Oh, toss up between 3 and 4. Really? 4, yeah, it looks like me, but I hate that hair. It's annoying. And like I said, and no matter how much I told them to leave the gray out, so I like 3. That's the one I like. But does it really look like me? Yeah, I can make it bigger, I think. Oh, there we go. This is a window only for the stream. I do that every week and then I forget to close it. So, here, let me switch to a different view. Nope, not that one. Not that one. What the heck? No, that's not it either. What happened to my view? Well, here, that's horrible. Why is it doing that? All right, that's a little bit better. I'll just leave it at that. I won't even add myself to the screen. You guys know what I look like. Well, I guess you kind of probably want me on the screen because to compare. All right, well, let's see where we're at. Number 2 is winning right now by over 50% of the vote. And there's the picture in the upper left is the picture that I used for the example. Like I said, the chin's a little too big, but it's not that obvious. So I may end up using that for like LinkedIn and such. Nobody would probably know the difference. I may see if I can try to darken the background. I think I can do that and still save it, but I'm not sure. Oh, it does give me one more generation. I guess it added another generation credit. Because I used all 10. Let's see, where are we at? So right now we have 31 votes, 89 people here. Come on, vote, people. Vote. Remember, the majority is often wrong. Well, in this case, it's all in the eye of the beholder. The AI knows you dye your hair. I do not. You can't trick the hive mind. Do an 8-year-old Max? Oh my God. That would be funny. That would definitely be funny. And I'll say thinner because I know. And I'd say thinner. I don't need an 8-year-old Max who's like a chunky. I mean, I guess I could, but it wasn't who I was back then. That's for sure. I was a string bean, an absolute string bean. Much like my daughter is. 2 is the most realistic in my opinion. That's what Sunflower Mama said. What was that? Oh. Yeah. Alrighty. Well, I see 36 votes. Still at 50%. I'm surprised. I thought maybe 3 would get more votes than that, but it definitely is not. That's my favorite picture is 3, even though it probably doesn't look quite as much like me. And it does have the weird hair plugs. And you have to understand what if you look at what that description says, if you can see it, it says very thick, all dark brown hair. That is not very thick. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. I am not balding. The big problem with all of these is the hairline's too high. So my forehead's not that big. So that's the other part of it. Anyway, I just thought you guys would enjoy that. So anyway, the other things I wanted to talk about were Acurast and Salad. So this is what I've earned so far. And is this worth anything? No, it's in testnet. It's not worth anything yet. Might be worth something eventually, but I don't know. It's been kind of fun. Got 4 phones running and got to get the 5th phone running. And I do plan on doing a video of that because I think that would be a little bit more interesting. So I will do a video on that. And then Salad. As I said, I've got 2 rigs that are doing nothing. And the other part of it is that I think Salad, I might be able to make more on the one rig, especially because one of them has a 5700X and the other one has a 5950X for a processor. So I should be able to make some extra money with the processor as well. So I'm looking forward to giving those a try. I'm probably going to pull in those expiration dates just in case they get rented. Because right now I have them set it at the 15th of June. But I'll probably want to do it this weekend of making the switch. I mean, I was waiting for these things to finally get verified because they haven't been rented. And I just find it very odd. What I think may partially be happening is that I think that if you have an intermittent job, whether it's your self-mining or some other intermittent job, you are given lower priority for a new job. So they don't necessarily put you in the search as regularly as a completely empty rig. So not sure about that, but I suspect that. But my 8 GPU 4090 rig is rented at altogether at like $3.26 an hour. So a little bit over 40 cents per GPU per hour. So definitely making some good money there. Yeah, I'm feeling, there were a couple of weeks I was like, damn, hopefully I don't have to sell some 4090s in order to make sure that I have enough. But yeah, and again, you have to take the good weeks with the bad weeks. You're going to have some good, some really good, and some not so good. And it all averages out. And the way it's averaging out, I'll have plenty to pay off and I'm still able to profit. And obviously after they're paid off, they will continue to do work, just like mining. And the one thing I have thought about, and again, we all don't know what the price or even when the 5090 is going to come out, but I have thought about doing the same cycle of financing and selling some 4090s, doing a combination of those two things to increase the number of, or the amount of work I can do in my basement, because the 5090s obviously are going to be more efficient, probably about the same power. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing when they finally do come out, looking forward to seeing what they can do. I will certainly get at least one to start, and we'll go from there. Alrighty, guys. Any other questions for me? It has been an hour and 15 minutes since I started. Joker Miner says, is Salad easy to install? From what I have been told, yes. Certainly a lot easier than Vast. Much easier than Vast. It's Windows based. I think Brandon had said that they were working on a Linux version. But basically, and when I say Windows, talking to King, you're really better off going with Windows 11 because it has a better integration of WSL, and they use WSL. So again, there's still a learning curve to a certain extent, but and the other part that you can do with it, you can do bandwidth sharing. It's basically using your whole computer. So I'm looking forward to giving it a try. So I'm going to probably do that this weekend, most likely, of getting both of those on Vast, and we'll see if anything else falls off and how successful I am with that. And because Vast certainly did lose some GPUs. Now I don't know if they just fell offline and they since came back on. I'm going to check that now. Waiting for it to load. Nope. Oh, it continues to fall. So it peaked out at just over. Oh, actually, it peaked out way over here. It almost, yeah, it basically hit about 4,000, a total of 6,000 GPUs. Right now, when I say GPUs, I mean 4090s alone. Yeah, you guys don't want to try Salad. It's much, much harder. You know, Vast is really hard. You shouldn't try any of this stuff. Anyway, 5,700 is what it's currently at. So it's lost 5% of its 4090s within the last, since May 31st. So recently, 5%. And I'm guessing they're going to other platforms, would be my guess. So I don't know. And what's interesting is it looks like most of them are coming from verified units, not non-verified. I find that very interesting as well. So, let's see where my pricing is right now. Yeah, I'm right in line with it. So, okay. But yeah, and I know I tend to keep my prices relatively low to make sure I'm rented. I know other people had done really well with higher prices than what I'm doing with Vast. So, and that's one of the nice things about Salad is you're not setting your price. Then of course you can't pick and choose your jobs. So you're going to get some jobs that may not pay quite as well as bigger jobs. But you're not gonna have to think about the the price. It's just you're a little bit of luck with it. And I think they basically said, I'm trying to remember what they said. I know the way I related it to Salad is like the nice hash of AI. They just want to make it easy. They call themselves the McDonald's of AI. That's what they want to be known as, so that anybody can do it. So is it easy? Again, it's still working on working out all the kinks, but is it easier than Vast? Yeah, it is easier than Vast. So, all right, let's see if there's any questions. Oh, switch my camera back. Yes, thank you. Let me scroll up. There we go. Thank you, Goat. Where's my producer? I wish there was a way that I could actually like just allow somebody else. I could do it when I was working in EVMux, but in OBS, I have not figured out a way to make that happen. All right, I'm going to end the poll. So 48% say 2. Got it. Got it. Put that as my Facebook picture and LinkedIn picture and see if anybody says anything. All right, let's see. Like McSalad. Yes. Yes. McSalad. I remember one of my times when I've lost a lot of weight. And there have been times where I have done that. And I lived on the McDonald's salads. They were so good. So good. And unfortunately, I think they don't even have them anymore. At least not the ones they had back then. It was back when they used to have Paul Newman salad dressings, which I don't think they have anymore. Crypto Crack says, don't you get paid out in gift cards or some shiz? You can, but you can also get paid out from PayPal. So I use PayPal. I don't have a problem getting paid in PayPal. Some people do, but it is another option rather than getting gift cards. How much I order from Amazon, I could probably just get paid out in Amazon gift cards for that matter. But yeah. Producer is bored. Yeah, she's watching something else. Still keeping track of the chat though. So she is multitasking. Yeah. Is it just me or does Max look baked tonight? Baked? Oh, I'm not baked. I'm just tired. I stayed up late last night getting the Neoxa node running and finishing up the ETCMC nodes. So yeah, I got like 2.5 hours of sleep. And then I got home today and was like, oh man, I'm just going to start on the NAS build. I'm like really excited about it. And I sat down on my desk and I was like this. And I'm like, nope, gonna go sit in a comfy chair and take a nap. So I took probably about a 2-hour nap when I got home. So I'm not like bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, type of thing. So, but feeling much better than I did when I got home. That's for sure. Yeah, Joker Miner says, I use PayPal all the time. Paying 4 is the best. Is it really though? Paying 4 is like every 2 weeks, right? Yeah, I don't know. I like the pay in 6 months interest free that they have if you're buying something enough. Mining King. Salad is a scam. Don't do it. Red glossy eyes. Are my eyes red? They're squinty. Is that better? Do I not look less baked now? Or do I just look creepy at this point? No, I definitely do not smoke that stuff. Red glossy eyes, tired. Sure. Wink, wink. Let's see. I did your interest-free crap and now I'm paying interest. Bad. Why are you paying interest? Pay it off before it gets to the interest. That's a complete failure if you don't pay it off before you get to the interest. Oh, I remember because, yeah, whoever did yours didn't do it properly. You have to select not getting the 10% like cash or whatever their rewards program is and select the free financing instead. Yeah. So I am not paying any interest on that. It will show up that you are accumulating interest, but that you don't have to pay it as long as you pay the amount before the special program ends. So yeah, I got a couple of things coming up that are due in the next couple of months, which I've been accumulating money for, so that's fine. And then after that, I had already paid off some things that were due at the beginning of next year. So I've already got a couple of cards paid off. And I paid them off because I needed to open up credit space on the Best Buy credit card. So yeah, I paid off some things in order to buy a few more cards. That's what elongated the payments for that. Joker Miner, max voltage fired. Yes, Best Buy. They have a credit card. Alrighty, guys. If there aren't any more questions, I am gonna call it a night. Bacon Eggs and Hash says, I played an MMO game for years. Sorry, I played an MMO game years ago. My username was the Baked Potato. Nice. Like it. Well, glad you liked it, Automatic Beats. Alrighty, guys. Thank you very much for being here. I very much appreciate it. And you guys all have a wonderful night. The general is out. Good night, everybody.